Hi everyone, my name is Melissa van Dijk and this is an update on the Ordinary Ascorbic Acid and Alpha Arbutin serum, which I now have been using for entire 13 weeks on 2 stubborn spots which are located on my leg. Now in my situation, those were caused by previous pimples and they were quite stubborn and intense, and therefore I also wanted to find a solution or using a product that can help me to fade them away. And therefore I went ahead and I have chosen the Ordinary Ascorbic Acid and Alpha Arbutin. And this was also the only product that I've used on those 2 spots specifically. You can say that I used it like a spot treatment only on those dark spots to see how they also would improve over time. And so the pictures that you are now about to see, those are realistic results. Those are unedited pictures. Those are my spots. And I just wanted to see for myself and also now share it with you guys as well, what's possible, what's realistic. And yes, in this sense, it took me, I decided with 13 weeks to also give you another update, because usually when also targeting specific skin concerns, it can take 8 to 12 weeks to also see improvements. And I thought now with 13 weeks, this also would be the great time to also share them with you, so that in case you're suffering from dark spots as well and you're looking for something, this may be a product for you. I do also want to emphasize that since I used the product on my leg only and I've also used it daily, I did not use any other product next to it to influence it whatsoever. I really wanted to see what the serum can do, what it can change within the skin. And I do also want to emphasize that in my specific case, I do not like the texture itself on my face. So while I was using it on my face, this is a texture, it's more sitting on top rather than sinking into the skin. And it's the same also with my leg. The difference is on my leg, it doesn't bothers me as I would use it on my face. So that's the only thing that I wanted to mention before we are getting started. But apparently this does not change the efficacy, because you also now will see the results. So first of all, let me get started with what my spots look like on day 1, as well as also how they have improved within 5 weeks. So you can see that those were pretty big spots on my leg, and they were quite red, especially the lower one. And within 5 weeks, you can see that it started to fade a bit more within my skin tone in general. They weren't as intense anymore. And also the lower one, you can see that the redness in the middle started to also go away, and it would turn into more of a light brown in that specific case. Then if you have a look at week 6 as well as week 7, they are slowly starting to also fade away. You can see that around the spot itself, it isn't as a harsh border anymore. So it started to really fade within my skin tone itself, and the middle also started to slowly also reduce the darkness of it, so that they are becoming less visible. Then also doing a week 8 as well as week 9, I feel like in this specific sense, my skin was a bit different on week 8. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens that I get a little bumps. May also be because of the ascorbic acid and alpha arbutin. But I did not really experience any severe side effects. I just experienced once during that entire process little bumps. I wasn't sure why, but in this sense, it couldn't really see much of a difference on how they would fade away during week 8 and week 9. But then also during week 11 as well as week 12, you can see that the top one especially also started to really get into my skin tone, that it became less and less visible, whereas the bottom one, this was the really stubborn one, that's also still a bit more noticeable than the top one. And now you can see the redness a bit more, but overall the border itself around the spot itself started to slowly break down, which also would make it a bit easier to also see that it starts to fade. And then here you have also the full comparison during day 1 as well as a week 13. This is what my 2 spots are currently looking like. The top one is nearly not noticeable anymore. I'm really happy with that improvement. Whereas with the bottom one, it healed away or faded away pretty well. It still is a bit noticeable because that one of the 2 was the strongest one. But I would say that if I would continue using it, I could manage to also fade it away even quicker. But it just would take me a bit longer with the bottom one than with the top one. So as for the result, I'm really happy with the top one. It's nearly not noticeable anymore. So in this sense, I would say, well, I don't really need to use it anymore. But with the bottom one, I would continue using it to also get it to that level or extent of fading it to the top one. So because it still is a bit visible, but it has improved a lot. And so those are results that you can realistically achieve when using this serum specifically daily. And keep in mind, I did not use anything else. I didn't use any exfoliating acids. I did not use any retinol whatsoever, which can also influence dark spots itself. I just stick to the serum. And so to this specific extent, I would say, yes, the serum has helped me to fade the spots. But on the other hand, I'm thinking about like, how much did my skin actually do? Because if you have dark spots like this and you protect them maybe also with sunscreen, if it would be your face, those dark spots can also fade away over time, but it may take you longer in that specific scent. So I'm not sure how much the skin healed itself as well as how much the serum itself did. And then you have to also ask yourself, was it the vitamin C that influenced it or Alpha Arbutin? So to really see the difference, or like how much the skin did and how much the serum did, you would need to do kind of like a split face, as they would call it. But then also the hyperpigmentation have to be in the same degree, because as you can see with the pictures, the top one did really well. It's nearly not noticeable at all, whereas the bottom one is still very stubborn. But it doesn't change the fact that over 13 weeks, those are the results that I can share with you, and I'm really happy with the results because those two spots were really annoying because they were also on my leg. And so if you have them on your face and you want to try out this serum, I do just want to emphasize that for me personally, when I use the serum also on my face, not because of I was suffering because of specific dark spots, but because I was testing the serum, it didn't feel that comfortable on the face. But this is just my experience. You may feel a bit different about the serum. I just feel that the texture is a bit like oily feeling like, and it's more like sitting on top of the skin rather than really sinking into the skin. That's just my experience. With the leg, I didn't bother much about it, but the way I was doing it is basically every time I was done in the shower, I would apply it on those two spots. And then while also doing my hair, etc., I just would let it soak into the skin because it would take some time to really be able to sink into the skin. So that's also one thing that I do want to mention about the serum itself. But it doesn't change the fact on the experience that I had while using it daily for entire 13 weeks. Now I do also hope that with this comparison with the before and afters on how it also improved my dark spots, you may are now also willing to try it out for yourself. I just do want to warn you, when using it on your face, it may not feel the best. So therefore, I just want to be honest and tell you that I don't like it on my face, but don't mind it on my leg. So this is basically also my experience about it, to also help to fade away those dark spots. And if you like the results, you may want to give it a try and also see it for yourself. And when trying out a serum like this, you can also take weekly pictures to also see how your skin would react to the product and if you can see improvements over time. Now this is also what I wanted to share with you. I also do hope that you enjoyed this little update and that you also liked the results. If you like this video, please also don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And yeah, I will see you soon in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Happy skin caring.